matter how humble it looks, this is one sweet that has made states fight for its GI tag and even has two separate dedicated days to celebrate its existence. Yes, I'm talking about the Rasgulla or the Rasgulla. So let's see how it's made. To make Rasgulla, you would need 1 liter of milk, some acidic agent which could be lemon juice, vinegar, curd or whey water, 1 cup of sugar, about 5 cups of water and a binding agent that could be maida, corn flour or arrowroot. The process to make rasgullas is very simple. All you need to do is boil the milk, then curdle it with the acidic agent, dry it and then knead the cheese curd, make balls out of it and then boil them in sugar syrup. But before we move on to make rasgullas, here is a word of caution from my side. Making rasgulla is an art that can be mastered only with practice, practice and practice. Also, here are some honest confessions that I would like to make in the beginning. Achieving success in your first attempt is difficult, unless you are really lucky. But don't get disheartened. Multiple failures will eventually lead to the perfect rasgullas. Everyone asks about the perfect recipe for making rasgullas. But to be honest, there isn't any perfect recipe for making rasgullas because it depends on various factors to consider, such as the quantity of the milk, the quality of the milk, whether cow milk, buffalo milk, full cream or toned, the degree of dryness of the chhena, whether it is too moist or too dry, the time taken for kneading the chhena and the pressure applied for kneading the chhena, and lastly the temperature of heat for cooking the rasgullas. All these factors vary from kitchen to kitchen and from person to person. But in this video, we are going to share some tips that will help you achieve the perfect rasgullas. Now first, we'll put the milk on boil. Try and use fresh milk and not a stale one. Also, you can either use full cream buffalo milk or I personally recommend to use cow milk. You can also use toned milk, but toned milk has a lesser amount of fat content in it, so the chhena that you will yield at the end will be lesser. Just when the milk comes to boil, turn off the gas, and now we would be curdling the boiled milk while it is hot through an acidic agent. In this case, I'll be showing you two ways. The first way to curdle the milk is with lemon juice. So here I have taken some diluted lemon juice. Keep adding the diluted lemon juice to the boiled milk gradually and stir until the milk curdles. Keep stirring continuously till the cheese curd, that is chhena, and the whey water separates. The reason why I have diluted the lemon juice is so that the chhena does not catch the lemon flavor. Once the whey is separated, don't stir any further, otherwise the chhena will turn rubbery. The second method of curdling that I am showing is with curd. Just like lemon juice, gradually add fresh curd to the boiled milk and stir until the whey and the cheese curd separates. Now we'll take the curdled milk and strain it over a cheesecloth or a cotton cloth, and then wash it under cold running water so that first the cooking process stops by cutting out the heat, and secondly the remaining flavor of curd or lemon juice also goes away. Don't wash the chhena for too long, just a minute is sufficient. Shake off all the excess water and then make a pouch by folding the cloth, press and squeeze out the excess water gently and hang it on a tap or a cupboard door handle. Hang the chhena pouch for about 30 to 45 minutes so that all the water drips out of it slowly and gradually. Wait till all the water has dripped off and the chena is dry yet moist. Now we would be kneading this moist chena dough, but before that we are going to measure how much we have yielded. So from 1 liter of milk I have got about half a cup of chena. The reason why we measured the chena dough before kneading is something that you will figure out later on in this video. Now knead the chena dough gently by pressing it with the heel of your palm. Let me show you a sideway view. Press the chena dough with the heel of your palm, stretch it and then fold it back and then stretch again. This is the motion in which you have to knead the dough, but do not apply too much pressure. Knead the dough with light and gentle strokes. Applying too much pressure will release all the fat from the chena, and when we boil the rasgullas, eventually they will break apart and turn into a disaster. Now we will add a binding agent. So here I am adding about half a teaspoon of maida. The reason why we measured the chena before is this. The amount of binding agent is directly proportional to the amount of chena yield. So in case you get half cup of chena, you need to add half teaspoon of maida, and similarly for other measures. Knead the dough back until it is well combined and you don't see any more cracks. Now take equal portions of the dough and make balls by rolling them between your palm. The balls should be smooth and should not have any cracks in them. Don't roll them too much, otherwise too much rolling can also make the balls break apart while boiling. With half cup of chena, I was about to get around 12 lemon-sized balls. Now we will boil these balls in sugar syrup. For that, take a wide and deep pan or a vessel and add 5 cups of water to it along with 1 cup of sugar. The 1:5 ratio for sugar syrup is enough to make the rasgullas sweet. In case you want a less sweeter version, you can make this ratio of 1:7. The reason behind choosing a deep and a wide vessel is because the rasgullas will eventually fluff up and then float. Now stir till all the sugar dissolves and the sugar syrup comes to a boil. Make sure the consistency of the sugar syrup remains thin. We don't want any sticky strings because rasgullas need light sugar syrup and not a thicker one like gulab jamuns. Once all the sugar is dissolved and the sugar syrup comes to a vigorous boil, that is when we will drop in the chena balls one by one. Boil the rasgullas on high flame for about 8 to 10 minutes. Resist yourself from flipping them or touching them with a ladle at this stage because they are very delicate and will break apart. After 10 minutes, you will notice that the rasgullas have started to double up. This is when gently flip them with a ladle. Be very careful. Don't apply too much pressure because the rasgullas are very delicate at this stage. Flip them over with gentle strokes and then cover the pan with the lid. Turn the flame on medium and cook them for another 20 minutes. You will notice after 20 minutes that the rasgullas have almost doubled up in the size. Turn off the flame and let the rasgullas sit in this water for about 6 to 7 hours. Meanwhile, just to check if the rasgullas are nicely cooked, we'll do a test. Take a cup of water and drop in a cooked rasgulla in it. If it settles on the bottom, that means the rasgulla is cooked. If it still floats on top, you need to cook it for some more time. You can refrigerate the rasgullas after cooling them at room temperature for 6 to 7 hours. Serve them chilled or right away. You can see how spongy they have become. So try this recipe and enjoy at your home on any occasion. I hope you enjoyed the video and found the tips shared useful. So do hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more such interesting recipes.